I think that's a 3 kilowatt tuner. And yeah, that was a A to Z tuner. I didn't have any issues with that one there. I just opted for a B&W VS 1500. That's a 1500 watts continuous antenna tuner. And down on the other side of things, in the Johnson department, I've got a kilowatt matchbox, but it doesn't do 160. Wish it did, because that would probably take care of all my needs. But anyway, yeah, great project. I'm not a builder of things here, but it's nice to hear some of the progress as you go there. And yes, Amazon, finding parts, eBay. It's pretty amazing what's out there, and all the little bits and pieces that are up for listing. You would think that they take the time to do that, but I was looking for a 100K pot for the Valiant the other day, and I went up online, and it was just amazing the availability. They were pretty pricey. They were cheap. They're not giving that stuff away. But I did find one in the junk box here. Nice Allen Bradley, so that worked out well. So lots of stuff. Always put the call out. You never know who has what can help out. So Odie Perry, W3MMR and 1SNG.
W3PWW.
And there's Ted. Good morning, Ted. Great signals here this morning, really. Just looking at the scope here, I hung my computer monitor up, and now it's right in front of my scope. Across the room, and I have a hard time seeing it, but everything looks okay. Good morning to you, Ted. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Got a big signal here. Great conditions again this morning, thank the good Lord. And I'll turn it right over to you, Ted, and you could turn it over to W2SDR. All right, what do I want to comment on? About this tuner, the 989C, it does me great, Glenn. The only problem I have with it is trying to tune this antenna as a short dipole on 160. So basically, keeping it as I have it now, and then just trying to tune it up on 160. It doesn't like that. It start hearing funky things coming out of the tuner. Those old familiar sizzles and pops when I try to tune the amplifier up on 160. On that tuner, so it doesn't like all that on 160 there. But as a long wire, it does just fine. And I have a kilowatt matchbox over here as well. I got it from my father. Sat out in the barn for 20 years, and it worked fine for a day maybe, and then the plates of one of the capacitors started to arc, at fairly low power. I just haven't got in there to take the capacitor apart and polish down the plates and buff it all out and all that. So it's sitting on the shelf, all pretty, nice and cleaned up, and it's in good shape. And it's really clean inside and out. It's just, I think from sitting in the barn for 20 years, got some artifacts on one of the capacitors there, and arced over, and now it won't stop arcing. So once you know how that is, once you arc one of the plates in those capacitors there, they just keep arcing at the same spot there. So, and real good on the coil stock. I guess I don't have to use copper tubing, but you know me, Pop. I always build stuff or do things to the nth degree for no reason, and spend money that I don't need to spend. Like you said, look at the inductor in my amplifier and the inductor in both of my tuners. That wire's smaller than 14 gauge probably on all that stuff there. So. I think definitely anything but copper tubing would probably suffice. So, over to you, Ted. W3PWW, the old military radio prenet, W3MMR.
Yeah, okay, Perry, very good. W3MMR, W3PWW. And the prenet, all signals here very strong this morning. Glenn and Harry and Frank there are all up about 70, pushing 80 on the R398 here this morning. That's a lot of signal because that meter is not calibrated and tends to be very scotch on weaker signals. So nice conditions this morning. Don't hear much static. A few minor crashes there and there, but for the most part, very nice conditions this morning. I guess until the electric filter starts up, it's usually on towards 7 o'clock, so somebody around here must be turning an animal out or something where they need the electric fence. But I don't hear anything this morning, so maybe it'll stay that way. Used to, the limiter in the R398 used to be very good on that, but for some reason doesn't seem to have much effect on the electric fence situation. You get a pretty loud pop every second. So that's not degrades anybody's signal that much, but it's just annoying. I guess on a very weak signal it might affect it, but right now everybody is up in the upper part of the scale on the carrier level meter. Okay, I guess it goes over to you, Frank, W2STR, and the group W3PWW. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. A little bit of QRM down. W2SDR. Let me make... Perry, does this thing sound okay?
I was breaking up there in the beginning, but it's okay now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I changed a couple settings. Yeah, I'm down in the upper 30s now. Or the lower 30s and something upper 20s. But I don't know. The pan adapter looks a little weird when I'm talking now. I changed the, I guess the sampling rate to 192 from 384, and I got the, all the rest of this stuff turned down as low as it'll go. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna go back up to the 384. I don't know. Oops. Pan adapter. Is it still breaking up?
Yeah, it's breaking up pretty bad every 5 or 10 seconds.
Well, I changed something back again. I still have to redo the other setting there, but yeah, I wanted to ask you some stuff I didn't remember. This is a pencil, so I'm gonna have to write stuff down. Anyway, well, we'll talk later on about the SDRs. I don't really have too much more to comment on. I'll turn it over to Glenn. W2SDR in the group.
Yeah, W2SDR and 1SNG. Very good morning to you, Ted. It's been quite some time, and a very happy Thanksgiving to you. Yours. On the ART-13 this morning, listening on the SP600. Excuse me, I got the coffee clog going on here in the throat. And Frank, yeah, those settings you had in the beginning were pretty good when you first came in this morning. But it's a little like a flutter in there. So I don't know if it's like an overmodulation or something, overdriving, or just something. I wouldn't know, but anyway. Otherwise, when it clears out, it sounds really good. Actually, it sounds very nice. So it's still in its infancy and adjusting. reports as you go. So very good on that. So I'm going to send it over to you, Frank. How much time we have left here? A few more minutes, but again, a great job on that. That's a firstie for me. Hearing that latch up you have there. The W4SDR I want to send you.
Good morning, guys. KD3HT.
All right, there's Steve. Yeah, I went back to the original settings, and yeah, like I said, this computer, Glenn, is right on the edge for doing what I'm doing. I mean, it's like tiptoeing on the edge of the Grand Canyon. You could fall at any moment. And so just kind of experiment with it, but I'm kind of back with the original settings. Yeah, Pearl, you could get those sequence errors down really, really low if you, with all the settings, but as you'll get more and more latency. But you don't, the way you operate, you don't care about it, because this white knuckling AM stuff, you could have a whole second worth of latency, and it doesn't make any difference because you don't listen to yourself. You're not on Vox. You're not on any of that type of, full break-in CW. None of that stuff. So the latency makes no difference. So you can buffer up there, in other words, which kind of what that does is smooth out everything, and then you won't get sequence errors, you won't get glitches, you won't, but you'll get latency. But, you don't care about latency on push-to-talk. It makes absolutely no difference. It's like there's all kinds of latency. There's 7-second latency in broadcast because of the curse prevention and stuff, So they use all kinds of processing because they have 7 seconds to deal with. And, they don't have push-to-talk or don't have to worry about people coming back to them, So it's a whole other issue. Over to you, Steve. KD3HT in the group, W2SDR. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's a nice morning here. My mouth seems to be frozen. That's why. And 27 degrees here this morning. The house is nice and warm. The room's still warm from radioing last night. So that's not a bad thing. And got some things set up to do today and get on with the show, as they say. So it's good to hear everybody's strong signals here this morning. Always nice to wake up to that. So I don't know who it went to, but I'm assuming Perry probably already transmitted. Glenn was there, Frank was there, so it's probably going to go back to Ted. But as I said, good morning. So meters look good. Good shape. So back to you, Ted. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Or at least it was good enough and no issues. So W3PWW in the group, KD3HT.
Yeah, okay, Steve, very good. KD3HT, W3PWW in the pre-net. Yeah, I went up to my daughter's house in Carlisle, and they always have a very nice family get-together. When my wife was alive, we used to have Thanksgiving here. We kind of rotated around between the different families, and maybe one year we would have it, and then next year we'd go to one of our daughters, or something like that. So yeah, I went up there yesterday. That was great. My son-in-law had fixed a smoked turkey, and I really like that. That's right up a kind of a flavor that I like. So they had a smoked turkey and a regular turkey that they did in the oven. So I guess we had 2, 4, 6, 8, almost 10 people there. So nice get together. We got 35 degrees here this morning, and it sounds like we're going to get some rain, I think, tomorrow sometime. So that's almost practically, I think last Sunday we had rain. Rain-snow mix, actually. So it looks like we're going to get the same thing tomorrow. Clear today, though, and it was clear yesterday. Not too cold, actually, yesterday afternoon, so we put up some decorations outside and getting ready for Christmas. Okay, guys, stand by a minute. So I have N1SNG, W3MMR, W2SDR, and KD3HT so far. Stand by. Calling the old military radio net, calling the old military radio net, calling the old military radio net. This net meets every Saturday morning at 0500 hours on or about 3885. This morning we're on with a T368C and receiving with an R398. You don't have to have military equipment to check in, but just to have an interest in that subject. Master Control responding, W3PWW, Whiskey 3, Papa Whiskey Whiskey, located near Hanover, PA. I have 4 stations so far, N1SNG, W3MMR, W2SDR, and KD3HT. Anyone else for the please call now.
K7IYP.
So I heard it's 7 stations. 7 stations, give me a call again, please, over.
Kilowatt 7, Indiana, Yellowstone, Pittsburgh, K7, IYP.
I got part of it. Anybody copy him?
Yes, K7IYT, Kilowatt 7, India, Yankee Tango.
Okay, K7IYT on frequency. Anyone else, over?
K4QKR.
The K4 station again, please, over.
Fox 4, Quebec, Kilo Romeo, KF4QKR.
Okay, K4QKN. Anyone else, over?
This is Norway 2K.
Again, please.
Yeah, this is Norway 2 kilowatt, NN2K.
Oh, okay, NN2K. Haven't heard you on for quite a while. Good copy this morning. Anyone else, please, over? Okay, we have N1SNG, W2MMR, W2SDR, KD3HT, K7IYT, K4QKN, W4QKN, and NN2K. And back to net control. N1SNG, W3PWW, go ahead.
W3PWW and the old military radio net. N1 ART13 this morning, listening on the Hamelin SP600, which is doing a fantastic job this morning, picking up some of these signals here. And good morning to Rick, N2K. Been quite some time, Rick. Had a nice signal into Rhode Island this morning. Good to hear your voice in here. I've been absent myself also because of work responsibilities and proper funding of the radio room, so it all works. And the K7 IYT, good morning to you, sir. If you can copy, the name here is Glenn Golf Lima Echo November, and we are in Rhode Island, North Kingstown, Rhode Island. And a very light copy, but I did hear you in there this morning. And of course, KD3HT, Steve, beautiful signal this morning. And, of course, Frank Perry doing a great job with signals this morning also. So we'll send it right over to Perry, and I believe you're on the DX100 there, sounding good. W3MMR to take it, and 1SNG.
And 1SNG, excuse me, the old military radio on that W3MMR. Good morning once again to you, Glenn. Sounding great down here. Good morning to Steve. Good morning to K7IYT. Good morning to, I got it as KF4 QAR, the 4 station. I might have that wrong, but I guess when you come back, you'll correct all of us. And good morning to you, Rick. NN2K, a great signal down here into Pennsylvania this morning. The rigger running, yes, is the Heathkit DX100, highly modified DX100 with a D104. I'm listening on a Hammerlin HQ140X. Everybody's got the carrier level meter all the way to the right on the Hammerlin this morning. And using a 125-foot 600-ohm ladder line fed doublet up about 60 feet. And we're located in Chester, Pennsylvania, 7 miles southwest of Philadelphia, here in the urban suburbs of Philadelphia. 35 degrees here in Chester this morning. At least the wind has calmed down. It was real windy the past few days. And back to cold seasonable temperatures. It got up to actually the low 60s a few days ago. So it was a pleasant surprise, but we're back down to seasonable temps here. It's supposed to be a crappy weekend. They're calling for possible snow, a little bit of a changeover, not any accumulating snow or anything like that, I think on Sunday, but mostly rain here. And it's that fall time, the wet rain and mixture that we get here in southeastern Pennsylvania. So nevertheless, everyone's sounding great down here into the Hammerlin HQ140X this morning. Over to you, Pop. W2SDR in the old military radio net, W3MMR.
Yeah, okay, Perry. Tomorrow the group. W2SDR. Remote living room. And good morning to everyone. Everyone is coming in very well, even the 7th station. And Ted, I forgot to mention my last transmission. I've been down the road with electric fence. There was a neighbor down the road that put one up. Well, there's a lot of them around here, but he put one up, a real high-powered unit. And he had it low to the ground, the wire, to keep coyotes out. Well, that thing was just brutal. It would tick, like you were saying, but it would kick the meter over to 20 over. And I went down there and I talked to the guy and I told him this has got to stop. So, and he did. He disconnected it. And I've never had a problem since. That was about 3 or 4 years ago. And but what happens is with those, Ted, a lot of times where the problem is just the gate. They have a gate and a latch there, and if it doesn't make a good connection, it will arc. Also, if underbrush is touching the fence, it'll arc. So it's always important with an electric fence to keep it well trimmed around any underbrush or branches or anything like that, and that the connections are nice and clean around the gate. Any gates that they have. So, because a properly installed electric fence with good connections, you shouldn't hear anything. So that's the issue with that. So hopefully it'll go away on its own. The connection will start making again, or the guy will trim underbrush, or the wind will blow it out of the way, or it'll burn off or something, and you won't hear it anymore. So there you go. Well, I hope everybody was copying this contraption okay. So I'm going to turn it to Steve. This will be my one in and out. It's 33 degrees here in Salem County, southern New Jersey, but beautiful signals all morning on the pre-net as well as the beginning of the net here. So enjoy the net, guys. And it was good hearing you last night, Steve, on 85. I don't get down to 05 much. but it's good hearing you up in this part of the band. So, KD3HT and the old military radio net, W2SDR.
Yeah, fine business, everybody. Good signals all the way around. And we'll see how we hear the further stations, but we'll get the, as Perry said, he'll correct us when we get there on the call letters. My name is Steve, Sierra Tango Echo Victor Echo. I'm located near Stroudsburg, PA, in northeastern PA. And as I said, 27 degrees and dry outside right now, but as Perry and Ted had mentioned, we're expecting a mix of stuff tomorrow and into Monday, and my sister-in-law is all, and my wife's concerned about they have a flight Monday morning, but I don't know, it doesn't look like much. So we'll see what happens there. Nothing we can do about it. Just got to deal with it. Glenn, sound wonderful down here, and love to hear the ART-13. Sounds great. Hopefully your reception on the SP600 is as good. And yeah, the band conditions last night, we were on till almost 7 or after 7 o'clock, just a little after 7 o'clock on the lower part of the band, and the band was pretty much solid. Warren jumped on with us, K2ORS, and he was still well copyable. So just good conditions. Hopefully they'll stick around. So let's see. I get to turn it. Well, I didn't say. I'm running a T368C into a 80-meter Delta loop and listening on an SDR, what is it called? AirSpy HF Plus as a receiver this morning. So K7, I got too many letters here. Maybe, yeah, K7 IYT or P. Apologize for botching that up. Please take it. This is KD3HT. Over. KD3HT and the old radio net. This is 207. India, Yankee, Papa. India, Yankee, Papa. Microphone. 35 miles southeast. 25 miles southeast from downtown Tucson, Arizona. I am operating T13, a B348. I have a 260-foot wire, 80 feet over two mountains. I'm fed with a single wire diode.
Come on, bands and muse.
Conditions are quite bearable, a lot of QSC, but I cannot possibly get the station I'm supposed to send it to, so I will go back to Ted and see if anybody else copied my signal there. WW and the old military radio net. This is K7 IYT.
Okay, K7 RYT, W3PWW, and the old military radio. Okay, thanks for checking in this morning. We'll leave you on the list for the second round. And signal was not really too strong or anything, but a lot of noise on the band right this second and had a little difficulty, but got you out towards the end. Yeah, thanks for checking in. We'll leave you on the list. I guess the next station up is K4QKR, then it goes to N1. NN2K, that's Rick. NN2K is up after the K4 station. K4QKR, W3PWW, go ahead.
Yeah, W3PWW in the old military radio net. It's Kilo Foxtrot 4, Quebec Kilo Romeo, Kilo Foxtrot 4, quit killing radios. So all you missed was the Foxtrot. Anyway, my name is Mike, and I'm here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, actually a suburb of Winston called Walkertown. The rig here is Yaesu FT101EE, and I'm driving it into an amplifier, about 3 813s, and I got just a couple of 100 watts carrier going here. I could do more than that, but the antenna's got a pretty high standing wave. But anyway, I thought I would try anyway, because I hear everybody pretty good. So I hadn't been on this thing in a couple of years, and the antenna the trees have grown all into the antenna, so I had some antenna work to do. But I think it is working marginally anyway. So anyway, the microphone here is a D104. I'm watching everything on the translator scope. So anyway, that's what I'm running here. I do have a TCS-12, and it works, but it's in the back room, and it's not hooked up. So all I have to do is hook it up, and I drive it into these 3 813s, and you can probably hear me on it, but I haven't even had this radio hooked up in quite a while. But anyway, I thought I'd give it a try. So it's about my bedtime. It's well past my bedtime, and I want to make this go running early. So let's see. I didn't get a chance to get my crayon and coloring book out, so I didn't write the next guy's call down. So W3PWW, I remember yours. I'm going to turn it back to you and let you turn it over to the next fella. So 73s, everybody, and I appreciate you letting me get in here. Maybe next time I can check in with my TCS-12. W3PWW, KF4QKR here, right outside of Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Okay, KF4QKR, W3PWW in the old military radio net. Very good on the TCS-12, doing a fine job into Southern PA this morning. And thanks for checking in. Next up is Rick, NN2K, go ahead.
Okay, W3PWW and the old military radio net. This is NN2K. Good morning to everybody on the net. It has been a fair amount of time since I've checked in. Oh, and I did try to check in last week, but it was unsuccessful. There was a lot of stations checking in, and Ted, conditions between us were marginal, and you just didn't hear me. Of course, I tried checking in later in the morning, about 6:30, I guess it was. And yeah, for those who don't know me, his name is Rick. Romeo India Charlie Kilo, located near the city of Binghamton, New York, about 8 miles east of the city. And just across town from Joe, WA2EJT, who I haven't heard yet. I guess he hasn't been on this morning yet. And good to hear everybody on. Good to hear you, Ted, and Glenn. Long time since I've heard you. And Perry, Frank, and Steve, of course, and the station in Arizona. I could just barely copy that station. I got maybe 50%. Didn't get his name, but I did get he was in Arizona and running a FT101EE, and also copied Mike there from North Carolina. About a 5x5. And this morning I'm running a new rig that I built a couple of weeks ago. It's a, of course, Steve, you've heard it. It's the QRP transceiver from the 4-state QRP group. A little kit, 5-watt AM 75-meter transceiver, puts out about 5 watts, a little less. And I'm driving my Ameritron AL1200 with that, and putting over, maybe a little over 100-watt carrier out. So glad you're hearing me this morning. And good to be back on. I haven't been on, like I said, in quite some time, and good to be up and on the net. Oh, by the way, the antenna is a 80-meter doublet. It's only up about 20 feet. So that's the working conditions here. So I guess I'm the bottom of the list here. So I'll be turning it back to you, Ted. And by the way, it's about 28 degrees here, and I think it's, I can tell it's overcast. We're supposed to have some snow starting later today, and they claim we're going to maybe get up to a foot of snow by Sunday sometime if things go according to the forecast. So it'll be our first real snow of the season if that happens. W3PWW and the old military net. This is NN2K.
Yeah, okay, Rick, very good. NN2K, W3PWW, and one military net. Very good. Yeah, I think we're going to get a rain-snow mix tomorrow. They didn't say how much accumulation, but it'll be a second Sunday now we've had rain or bad weather, so have to see how it works out. Okay, down to the end of the list. Anyone else out there for your military radio net, please call now.
W4HWT car, Whiskey 4, Hotel Whiskey Tango calling, standing by.
Okay, John, good morning. W4HWT recognized. Anyone else, over?
K9GAS checked in too, Ted.
Okay, I didn't, I heard something in there right when the transmitter turned over. I think I got to readjust the turnover time here. It's I'm missing some call letters occasionally when I turn it over. Pull that mod drawer out and adjust that setting in there. Okay, have W4HWT K9GAS. Anyone else for the net? Please call now. Over.
WA1JUJ.
Copy. WA1JUJ. Anyone else? Over. Okay, let's pick up those stations on W4HWT, K9GAS, and WA1JUJ. Then we'll go back up to the top to N1SNG. W4HWT, W3PWW. How copy, John? Over.
Okay, Ted, W3PWW, no more radio net. This is John, W4H, the WT in North Carolina. Snow camp about the center of the state. Well, copying you really good, Ted. Copying you really good here. I just got in here running late this morning. It's a little late getting out of the sack, so sorry about that. But anyway, it's pretty nice down here right now. Temperature is 49 degrees, believe it or not. I thought it was a big cool that this morning. We expected some rain, and thank goodness it's that warm. It will at least be freezing rain. And probably what we get sometime today is what you just spoke about later on tomorrow. But I call it snow here. I think most of the cold part of that front coming in is much more further north than what we are. And for those listening, I'm running the BC610E model here and a 390A receiver backed up by an HRO 60 and several others. And again, the name is John. So Ted, I'll turn it over to K9 GAS, and if he's not copying me, you might have to relay it there. I don't know. K9 GAS. W4HWT, stand by. Over.
Yeah, John, W4HWT, K9GAS, Jerry. No, you're almost turning over, John. Big 6. Good morning to you, Ted, Frank, Barry, Steve, Mike, Frank, Rick, and Mike out there in Arizona, K7IYP. Good morning to you. You had a great signal here on the ART-13, doing its normal great job. Propagation wasn't bad. And good morning, Mike, on the FT-101E there in the Carolinas. I think outside of Winston-Salem, if I got that right. Great signal here for your antenna being with high swerves, so it is getting out. I'm in close to Minneapolis. We're at 37 degrees, almost at 42. Perfect for you. I don't. 37% chance of rain, so it's going to be an indoor day. I think it's supposed to do that all day. And I'm on the SDR rig this morning there, Ted, so a little off from the military rigs, but we're certainly appreciate you picking me up. Good signal from you too, Ted. You're about 20 over. I think most of the only live one so far, I think, is W1JUG, who I'm turning to, so you may have to relay if that's the case. I'll give it to him, and I think I got the call correct. So W1JUG, you're supposed from K9GAS, K9 going after snakes, here on the old military radio net.
K9GAS from W1JUJ. Okay, fine, Jerry. Pretty good signal here into western Massachusetts. Name here is Kevin, Kilowatt Easy, Victor Ida Nancy. And we're running stock military this morning. GRC 19, Q195 Alpha, 392 receiver. Being powered by a 474G 28 volt supply. And I'm speaking at a stock when I've got the transmitter running, I have to use the H227 headset because the blower noise is so loud. I'm sitting right next to it here. It's about 25 degrees in western Massachusetts. And we're looking at, they're saying now, between 9 and 12 inches of snow Sunday night into Monday. So I've got later this morning and uncover the snowblower and see if I can get it started up. And I've got it ready to go. They're actually working up here in Western Mass. Not looking forward to it, but it is what it is. What did I say? It's about 25 degrees. Not too bad on weather the past couple of days. A little cool, breezy, but it hasn't been bad. Everybody's got pretty good signals. Glenn, you're doing great. You, both Mary and Frank, are strong in here as well as Steve, as always is. I could not copy the K7 station at all. Rick was pretty good. Jerry was also easy copy, as were you, Ted. So I don't know. Well, I guess I'll turn it back to you, W3. WW from W.
This is W2 HAT.
Okay, W1JUJ, W3PWW. Nice signal from the GRC 19 this morning. Good to hear on. Okay, I heard Joe jump in there. Joe, go ahead and make a transmission, and then we'll go back up to N1SMG. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, Ted, this is WA2EJT. I turned the rig on just a little bit ago and was delighted to hear you. I also heard John. I didn't copy his transmission because I had some other stuff to do here, but, some reasonably good conditions here at the moment. So I don't know who all is on here, but it doesn't sound like too big of a group yet. Anyway, great. Just great to be able to hear you this morning, Ted, and I'm anxious to see who else I'll be able to copy. Running the usual ART-13 here, and the BC-348 with the R-24Q5 on it. So again, great to hear you, Ted, W3PWW, and the old military now, WA2EJT, over.
Okay, Joe. Yeah, really great to hear your signal. Nice strong signal down here this morning. And good to hear you on. Many times I was having a lot of difficulty or didn't hear you at all. So, great to hear you on. Back up to Glenn, N1SNG, W3PWW in the net. Go ahead.
Yeah, W3PWW in the old military radio net. Wow, just some broadcast quality signals out there this morning. Just very, very refreshing. A very good morning to Joe, WA2EJT. It's been quite some time that I've heard you this strong. ART-13, 348, the Q-Fire just pumping along nicely there. Loud and clear, Joe. Very good morning to you. And WNJUJ Kevin on the GRC-19 T195 latch up there. Just fantastic, very authentic signal there. And it sounds like it's running the way it's supposed to be. So good to hear it, GRC-19 in there this morning. And a very good morning to Jerry, K9GAS on the SDR, just punching a nice signal into it. Beautiful signal, Jerry. Sounding very nicely. And W4HWT, John. Another nice signal. And a very good morning to you, sir. And Rick, NN2K, getting the snow shovels out there, getting ready for some snow, and the first big one of the year. I know in New York can be pretty tricky there with the lakes and all, and friends of ours lived out in that region, and that wasn't uncommon to get 36 inches of snow in the season. Quite a bit of digging out going on, but we'll see what happens there. Hopefully it's not. And I think it was KM4QKR Mike on the FT101E. You're still there, sounding great this morning. Thanks for checking in. K7IYP, I believe. R13, 348, generator power. A nice signal from Arizona this morning. Very light, but could hear you in there. And K3HC Steve, the T368, just punching along nice there. Sounded very, very nice. Yeah, I know you had that one that rig on yesterday, and it was great hooking up with you yesterday afternoon. So with that, I'm going to send it over to Perry, and Perry's the DX100 there. Also sounding very, very nicely. So W3MMR.
N1SNG in the old military radio net, W3MMR. I gotta bend down to see my scope now because I put a damn computer monitor in front of it, and I got to get on the floor to see it. Anyway, everything looks okay. Hope it sounds okay. Broadcasting in the radio land. Yep, just on the DX100 this morning with a D104 and a whole host of of audio modifications done to it, and push-to-talk added, and completely retubed, and all new old stock RCA black plate tubes, and completely refinished cabinet. Luckily the faceplate was in very good condition when I got it, and didn't have to touch that, but did refinish the cabinet, and very happy with the way this DX100 came out. Still great signals from everyone here this morning. Everyone sounded great coming in the Hammerlin HQ140X this morning. Good morning to you, K7IYP. I didn't get your name. Let me make sure home here. Michael out there in Arizona. And I'm very happy that I can copy you, Mike. I don't know how you're copying me here, but I've had a high noise level here for a very, very long time living where I live. And I finally found that the source of most of the noise was a switching power supply from a neighbor, and was able to work it out with him and got rid of that switching power supply and got my noise level down. And I'm copying you. It's not like you're running full legal limit out there, and I'm copying you on a 60-year-old receiver here, on a piece of wire. It makes me very, very happy that I can copy you, Mike. So kudos to you for putting out a signal that I could hear. Because if I can hear you, anybody can hear you. And good morning to you, Mike. KF4QKR. The FT101 is sounding great here into southeastern Pennsylvania this morning. Good morning once again, Rick. Sounding great, big signal here this morning. Good morning once again, John, W4HWT. It's always a pleasure to hear you here on 85 and on the old military radio net. Good morning to you, Jerry. Good to hear you on the Milrad net this morning. The SDR is sounding fantastic with your smooth, easy listening voice. You could put me to sleep. I might as well just make a recording of you, and for when I'm having a problem going to sleep at night, I could just put on Jerry, and he'll sing me a little lullaby to go to sleep. But nevertheless, good morning to you, Jerry. Good morning to WA1JUJ. Sounding great here as well. I may stick around for one more round if the group doesn't get much bigger. I got a few things to take care of here this morning, so pencil me in for one more round, Ted, and we'll stick around and see what goes down in the world of sound, as they say. And good morning to you, Steve. KD3HT, the T368 is sounding phenomenal. Probably one of the best signals I've heard from you here this morning. So the band is in phenomenal shape, and it's really great to hear. 2 weeks in a row of great conditions here for the old Milrad net. So I was turning it over to my pop, but he signed. So over to you, Steve. KD3HT in the old military radio net from W3 MMR.
This is KW1I. Good morning. Yeah, good morning to Dale. And very good, Perry. Good signal down here, 30 to 40 over. And hearing you just fine. I like the way that I'm trying to think of his name, and it's not coming to me. A guy in Ohio, DX100. There's no one. It's DX100, and I always love the way he said that. So running through the list, everybody is copyable here into the Poconos. Joe, Kevin, Jerry the Gas Man, no problem. John, good signal. Rick, nice signal. I'm not sure about the modulation, but it could just be the band too, Rick, on the QRP rig. Both mics copyable here into the Poconos. Winston-Salem mic with the 101E, good sounding signal, and you're using 813, so that was a military tube basically in World War II, so you got that going for you. And Mike out in Vail, Arizona near Tucson, the ART-13 is doing its job for you, and hopefully you're hearing me on the 348. And then Glenn, you always have a great signal down here, so that's always a high point of the morning hearing that. So here in the Poconos, yeah, I just looked at the weather. They've upped it a little bit here for like 1 to 2 inches and then 3 to 4 inches. We'll see what happens. I don't want any, or if it does happen, I want it to go right away so that I can dig a hole and get some masonry done here. But that's personal business. Hi. Get that. Been working on the BC610 and have gone through and tested all the relays. So I suspect the 5-volt filament transformer for the rectifiers, it might be causing me some problems. I'm going to get rid of it and put in some solid state stuff to remove that issue, and hopefully be trying that out later on today. So been making a little progress on that, not a lot, but a little. Have to jack it up like a car and crawl under it to get to that transformer, so that's going to be a little dicey, but took it off the dolly last night, have it on the floor, so should be able to tilt it over to get underneath it. And hopefully won't have to do any welding like you showed, Perry, in the picture. It's a good weld on a tailpipe. So, the antenna did come down this week. We had real strong 50-mile-an-hour gusts here, like a lot of other people in the Northeast did, and did fracture the antenna, but was a fix that took under an hour and was back up. Seems to be working okay, so no harm, no foul, just a little bit of work. So with that, I'm going to keep it moving around, and I'm going to send it back to Mike in Arizona. So Mike, hopefully you're still copying. And Ted, you can add Dale Sharp. I'm sure you already added them to the bottom of the list. So K7, India Yankee Papa. This is KD3HT in the old military radio net. Over.
Whiskey Baker 8, Delta Mike X-ray.
K7IYP, go ahead.
All right. KD3HT and the old military radio net. This is K7IYP from Eastern Arizona, and I will talk to you. A little bit rough, making my headphones jump off. And then you've got people picking up on frequency, so it's a little bit rough. Oh, and I did copy W3OMR pretty good that last time. KF2KR, then the SMG, W4HWT, supporting Joe, and W1GE. So this is Mike, Southeastern Arizona. One of the speakers being on a generator. And since it's very difficult to see this morning, I'm going to go ahead and sign out for you. I think I was sending it to KF4. And Jerry, if you please, you are supposed to copy my sign here. Please tell him I signed out. So 73 to everybody from Arizona. KF4QKR and the old military radio net. K7IYP 73.
Okay, K7IYP, W3PWW, in the old military radio net. I think K4QKR checked out, so it goes to NN2K, W4HWT, K9GAS, WA1JUJ, WA2EJT, and KW1I, then back to net control. Rick, go ahead, NN2K, W3PWW net. Go ahead, Rick.
K4, JCP.
Okay, W3PWW in the old military net. This is NM2K. Very good morning to the latest check-ins. John, down in Snow Camp, I was able to copy you, no problem. And you're 49 degrees. Well, that's a lot warmer than it is here. about 20 degrees warmer, I'd say. And Jerry, K9GAS, yeah, I agree with Perry. A nice, easy listening voice, so very soothing to the ear. And a good signal out here in the Binghamton, New York area. And Kevin, WA1JUJ, copy you nicely on your GRC19. And good morning to you, Joe. Glad to hear you on. I copy you okay across town on your ART-13. And Dale coming in with a big signal, as you usually do down here into Binghamton. And as I said, quickly in my first power, I'm using my new 4-square QRP group 7580 AM transmitter. And Steve, I bumped up the mic gain a little bit. I think I had it back down somewhat from the last time I talked to you with it. So you can let me know how it sounds. This is just a cheap little can mic that came with the kit, so looks like something that almost spined on a little 2-meter HT. It's so small. And this weekend, Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving Day we had a house full here, our kids and grandkids, so I had a good time and a good meal. And last night we went over to my brother's house across town and had another get together. We had some family members that came in from down in Mississippi. My sister and her kids hadn't seen them in a while, so they're supposed to be leaving back home this Sunday, and we're supposed to get that snow done. So we'll see what happens with their plane back down to Mississippi, whether that gets delayed. If we get what they say we're going to get, it probably will be delayed. And another project I've been working on here over the last week is building up a 1929 Hartley transmitter. So got it to work, and you just temporarily had everything on a board, so now I'm making a more permanent installation with it. So having some fun with that. And yeah, I got to go out and get some gas for my snowblower. I did start up the snowblower a few weeks ago when it was running, but I don't have a lot of gas, so I better get that done today before the snowstorm hits. And somebody mentioned the snow in this area in New York and the lake effect. We do get a little bit of lake effect here, but that's mostly up farther north where they really get hammered from the lake effect snow. And Perry, your DX100 sounds great. Very nice sounding rig. I've actually got 2 DX100s here, and they're pretty much stock. One I use on occasion to check in on the gray hairnet on 160 meters, and I've got another one that's sitting on a table that hasn't been hooked up in a couple of years. So. But I got more radios than I got bench space for, or shelf space, I guess. So with that, and Steve, your BC610. Last time the one and only time I saw that, it was all in pieces in your Buick when you stopped over. So hopefully you'll get that going before too long. Be anxious to hear it on the air. So I guess it goes down to John down in Snow Camp, North Carolina, W4 HWT on the old military net. This is NN2K.
Okay, NN2K. And the old military radio net. This is John W4HWT returning. Okay, copying everybody. fairly good. I didn't copy the K7IYP too well. I got several words instead of stretch, and then the QSB would pull it down into the noise of where it was still a pretty good carrier. Excuse me, I had to cough that blow the modulation transformer. Anyway, copying everybody good. I heard Joe, WA2EJT, he was a little also, and of course, Dale, he broke in quite strongly there. And copied everybody going, you know, we were expecting our weather here to be considerably nastier than it is right now. In fact, the rain hadn't even got here yet. I think we had a little light, little sprinkle during the night. The porch was dry. I looked out there right quick before I came downstairs and made a quick check of the temperature. It was quite surprising. It was 49 degrees. So that's okay. We'll take that anyway. And winter is right around the corner. Most all our leaves are now off the trees, and should have dried up leaves yesterday, but I was too sore I'm trifling, and I didn't do it. So maybe this last rain will knock the rest of them off and dry. Maybe it'll dry up enough that we can grind them up with the lawnmower and blow them into the woods or something like that. That's what we try to do. Instead, we don't have to rake the son of a gun. Anyway, I'll keep it on going down the list here. We've got a lot of people. K9GAS. The ART-13 sounds good here. It's coming quite strongly. K9GAS, W4HWP, and the Old Military Radio Net standing by. Over, over.
Okay, John. Yeah, K4. WHT, K9GAS. In case you maybe missed it, you probably heard him. Mike out there in Arizona, K7IYP, was checking out. Maybe that is last. Good morning to you, Mike. Hope you held up pretty good here, but I'm a little bit further west than most, so I get that little bit of a hop. And yeah, we're pretty much 100% rain here today. John, that's what I need to do. I got the oak tree done. You know, those leaves are like leather. You know, everything in the back is maple, so that's pretty easy. I like it when they're wet, so I don't have to breathe in all the dust from it. But yeah, it's probably a little too hot out there today, so I'll have to wait till that subsides. I know we got some fair weather coming, probably in the 40s. So far, next week's fairly mild for here. So hopefully it'll continue. Good morning. I heard Joe, K4JCP, trying to check in. I'm sure he'll be on the next round. Good morning, Joe. Good to hear you. A nice signal as always for this time of morning here. And Nick, thanks for the compliment. You know, that's about I guess from my grandkids. They keep having me a lullaby in my I always thought it was just a boring voice, so I thought that's what put him to sleep. Maybe I can think in my own mind that it's soothing, so it's a good thing. But I appreciate the compliments on that. But, you know, everyone, you know, at least I do, when I hear a recording of my voice, I don't like it. So, I guess that's just the way it is. And I am stuck with it. And Kevin, WA1JJ, I caught that correction and still bet live, but heard you real well. So let me get it over to you and see if the band has changed a little bit, but I'm sure it's going to shorten up here shortly. Go ahead. I believe I got the name right, Kevin. WA1JJ in the Old Military Radio Net. This is K9GAS, Jerry in Greenwood, Indiana.
Good morning, Jerry. K9GAS, WA1JUJ. Okay, Brian. Yep, name's Kevin. Here. Still pretty good signal. You've got a good signal in there. So does everybody else. That time I did just barely something like out in Arizona. Maybe got about half of what he was saying. But everybody else is coming in here, Q5, to Western Mass. Not too much more here. Looking forward to a very interesting December. Finally turned in my notice. And I will be retiring on December 31st. It's been 43 years. It's a long time. And looking forward to a very interesting 2020.
working day is going to be the 20th of December because we're headed out west to the Seattle area to be with my son and my daughter for Christmas. Out there that I haven't even met yet. So we're looking forward to that trip at the end of December, and then come back. So that's very interesting 20 here. So Joe, I did hear you in there, so I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, Kevin, this is WA2EJT. Your signal is dropped off a little bit. I hope that's not a portent. I've copied essentially everyone. The station out in Missouri, I could copy words, but not good. But I do want to acknowledge a couple of stations. Steve, it's been months since I could hear you early in the morning, and so it's a real treat to be able to copy you. Rick, you're coming in nicely, and I would say your rig has what we can call good military style, military quality modulation. It's cutting through nicely. And John, W4HW3, great to actually hear you this morning. Not real loud here, but above the noise at the moment. Okay, my recent activities here have included finishing up rebuilding the capacitors in an R23 ARC5 receiver. And in connection with that, I've been over the last several days listening to long-wave beacons, and have been quite surprised about how many I was able to dig out. That takes real patience and luck. I live in a suburban environment here, and there can be lots of noise. But last night was good conditions, and I copied a number of new and different beacons for me. All right, well, you have a lot of people here, so I don't want to go on for too long. And I heard Dale check in, so I should be turning it over to him. And again, great to be able to actually copy you here this morning. It's a real treat. So, Dale, go ahead. KW1I, WA2EJT, over.
Okay, Joe, very good. Yeah, good to hear you. Next up, KW1I, then K4JCP. KW1I, go ahead, Dale.
Okay, good morning. This is KW1I, broadcasting from Bow, New Hampshire, just south of Concord. Name is Dale, and it's about 21 degrees out here. And we are expecting Sunday night and Monday our first snowfall, substantial snowfall. They're still fudging around with the numbers. This morning we're on the Collins TDO and a 130-foot doublet fed with ladder line. This is great conditions this morning. I want to mention that Steve, you're coming in great. You were the first one that I heard when I was down here after Ted. Ted, you got a wonderful signal as well. I did hear Mike in southeast Arizona just barely. This last, I heard one complete sentence, you might say. So, Mike, greetings from New Hampshire. And Rick, the Foursquare rig is working great with its the mic that came with it and everything else. It's surprising how good that sounds. I'm glad you've got an amp behind it. Good morning to you, John, W4HWT, and Jerry, K9GAS from Indiana. Terrific signal. And Kevin, I caught just a bit of, I was loading the wood stove up here, but you're planning a trip and you're going to see a grandson you haven't seen. That sounds just great. And good morning to you, Joe.
I heard Glenn earlier with a fabulous signal. I hope the conditions stay like this and we still be able to hear the locals. We've been doing a lot of outside work getting ready for winter, firewood and cleaning up the yard. And my daughter from Austin, Texas, and her husband are heading back this morning to Austin through Philadelphia. I think the travel will be okay. It's been great to be with her because she is expecting her first child in February. So we'll be heading down to Austin in the new year. So we'll have more reports as we hear more stations check in. Again, Ted, you're doing great. You finally got those propagation conditions that you've ordered. And greetings to Joe down near my son in Florida. So over to you, K4JCP in Fort Walton Beach. This is KW1I.
Okay, KW1I and the group K4JCP. Let me make sure I got it here. Yep, yes, I do. Again, good morning to all the folks here on the old military radio net. And I was wondering if you were down this way for maybe let me know. Haven't seen your family since most of the stations. The station out in Arizona was very light, but I had him picked up good on one of the SDRs, so it sounds like the band is in pretty good shape. Won't try to go through and mention all the names, but Ed, thank you for holding forth again, as always. We're on the 610 Foxtrot here, listening on the 51J4. So I guess that's about as close to military as I can get. The old, I'm not sure about the J4, if it was military or commercial, but again, thank you for keeping it. And I guess I'm the end of the list here. I think I did hear another station trying to check in, but I'm going to turn it back up to Ted. And everybody have a nice Thanksgiving. Down on the end here before Christmas. Everybody have a nice Christmas. W3PWW and the Old Military Radio.
Yeah, okay, Joe, very good. Nice signal on the Southern PA this morning. K4JCP, W3PWW, on Old Military Radio Net. Yeah, 610 sounds quite nice up here, Joe. I've got one over here parked on 3570. Same model, 1949 date. BC610 Foxtrot. Use that on the CW net. Okay, down the end of the list. Any other stations out there for the Old Military Radio Net? Please call now.
K3HVJ.
Mike X-ray, WB8DMX.
WB3CTC.
WD8DMX and WD3CTC. Anyone else, over?
KK4RF. KK4GZQ. Kilo 4 Golf
CTC, KK4RF, and KK4GZQ. Anyone else, over? Okay, I have K3HVG. Anyone else?
WU2D. W9JMK.
And 9KGR's trying to get into their
KGR, I believe is the call. I heard a Mobile station. The Mobile station, give me a call again, over.
AJ1G Mobile.
Okay, did not copy him that time. AJ1G Mobile, okay, anyone else, over? I'm hearing a station, I believe KUK, is that correct, over?
No, the relay is okay.
Are you hearing me at all, Jerry?
W9JMK is in there as well,
AJ1G was in there also.
Okay. W9JMK, okay. Anyone else?
New Hampshire, too.
Enough Dublin?
AJ1G was in.
Hotel Japan Kilo.
Okay, let me pick up AJ1G Mobile. Chris, go ahead.
AJ1G Mobile, go ahead.
He's transmitting. He turned it to you, Ted.
Yeah, okay, real light copy on AJ1G Mobile that time. Okay, let me pick up the stations I have here right now. The WD8DMX, WB3CTC, KK4RF, KK4GZQ, K3HVG, K9KJR, and W9JMK. I think that's what I got here right now. So WD8DMX, it's W3TWW. Go ahead and make a transmission and pass it to WB3CTC.
Okay, Ted, good morning to everyone out there. It's good to hear you out there from Whiskey. Good morning to Kevin. Good morning, everybody. Beautiful. I know we get ourselves here. Well, I tell you, we like the cold Ted. This is nothing what happened before. I'm at K9GAS. Good morning to you out there too, Jerry. But other than that, dog, we're around the shack there. I want to thank everybody. Let me come aboard this morning. Hope everybody have a beautiful, cool and wet Saturday morning there for sure. That thanks a lot, Jerry. Take care. We put this from WBA DMX. Station. WBA DMX. Come on aboard. Whiskey Bakery.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, Ted. W3PWW and the old military radio net, WB3CTC. Man, it sure is nice to be able to hear some people on here. The propagation's real good right now. I'm knocking on wood. Name here's Mike, and the QTH is Lancaster, PA. Running the ART-13 and the BC-348. And I'd say I didn't hear anything out of AJ1G Mobile, and I'm hearing about 3/4 of the stations in here. It's really, really good this morning. Nice change. Nice for a change. So over to KK4RF and the old military radio net, WB3CTC.
Yeah, very good, Mike. WB3CTC and the old military radio net. This is KK4RF. Mike, your ART-13 sounds great as usual. And I want to say good morning to everybody on the net. Ted, thanks for running the net. It's you got a lot of people now trying to check in, so I won't keep it long. We had a great Thanksgiving, and we're looking forward to a good Christmas. And today we're operating the old LMAC A54H, running it through a Heathkit SB200 linear and an 80-meter dipole up about 35 feet, receiving with an old Heathkit SB300. So it's the usual rundown. We've got a lot of projects that we're hoping to get to now that we've gotten past Thanksgiving. We had a lot of yard work to do and a lot of getting the house ready for all the people that came over to the house 2 days ago. So now I'm done with all that, and hopefully we'll have more time for ham radio. So anyway, I'll send it over to Kevin in Kentucky, KK4GZQ in the old military radio net. This is KK4RF.
Okay, Marty, real good. Good signal up here this morning. KK4RF with the old military radio group. Here's KK4GZQ. Good morning, one and all. Good morning, Ted. I heard AJ1G Mobile in here. I heard Mike out in Arizona. Ted, sounds like you got your hands full in here. There's quite a few stations in it. I'm sure glad to see it and hear it. This morning I'm running the BC610G, serial number 7, 1949 model here. The old mousetrap class for GHT, now Silent T, and fond memory of Liz. And listening to you guys on an HQ 180 here, and I've heard everybody except 2 stations ago. I missed that one that went back to Ted. Other than that, I've heard everybody here on the net. So I'll keep it short. It's a big list. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Looking forward to a great Christmas and New Year holiday season coming up. So over to KT8VG. This is KK4GZQ, Kevin, near Lexington, Kentucky. Good morning.
Yeah, okay, Kevin, K4GZQ and the old military radio net. K3HVG, Jeep in Frederick, Maryland. And I'm running commercial gear, 1000D into an L4B, only because this part of the radio area was a little bit warm. 37 degrees here in this part of Frederick. Anyway, copying everybody loud and clear. Mike, Marty, Kevin, Ted, you're blazing in. Very, very good copy with almost all. I heard Chris the first time, and then didn't hear him the second time. Understand he's in the mobile. But very good indeed. A little update on the Valiant there, Ted. I have not applied power yet, but in going over it and everything, it's a factory wired unit. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. So at least that's a very good starting point. And not to go in and take out the Chernobyl resistor out of the VFO, of course. And perhaps relocate the VR tube also. But anyway, I won't hold it. Let's see, K9KGR. To take it, and I'll move to radio there. K3HVG, over.
K3VHG at 9KGR. Well, thanks for letting me in here. Ted in the group, big group this morning. Name is Bruce, and QTH is Cleveland, Wisconsin. Not running military gear this morning, a Valiant and a R390 receiver to a Gage dipole. We have 36 degrees and 2 degrees X. And I do not know who I should turn it over to there, Ted. So if you could help me out, I'd appreciate it. Turn it back to you. Sorry for the screw up. W3PWW at 9KGR.
W3EMD.
Yeah, K9KGR, W3PWW, and the old military radio. And I think it goes to W9JMK. W9JMK, go ahead.
Okay, Ted. And good morning to you for the CPWWW and the old military radio net. W9JMK, Norway, Wisconsin, at about 37 degrees this morning. And I'm getting a lot of in my receive. But no military gear this morning. The old helicopter setup, the HT-32A, the HT-32B, and the FX-101. And that's just straight P104 for the audio. I'm glad everyone had a great holiday. Good Thanksgiving. Everybody ate too much, I'm sure. I know I did. So, and I don't know what today's going to bring. But thanks for getting me in here, Ted, and thanks for doing what you do. And I'll send it back over to you, and good morning to all the folks out there. So, back to next signal, W3PWW, JMK, Norway, Wisconsin.
Okay, K9 JMK, W3PWW, no military radio. That's very good. Nice signal coming in this morning. And I think the only station we had difficulty with was Chris, AJ1G Mobile. So, Chris, if you're listening, did not copy much of your transmission that time. Okay, we're down to all stand by for some more check-ins. Anything else for the night, please call now.
Victor Yankee 2 Whiskey.
Delta. AA8SAJ.
WU2D. Okay, I have W3EMD. WU2D. I believe it was another station. Please call again, over.
Victor Yankee 2 Whiskey.
The WA8 station.
Victor Yankee 2 Whiskey.
Call again, please, over.
Sugar. VY2 WW, Ted.
Okay, I have SAJ, WA8 SAJ, and I also hear a VY2 WW in there. Okay, continuing on. We have W3EMD, WU2D, WA8SAJ, and VY2WW. W3EMD, go ahead.
Ted, I got a sign. This is just getting too long. W3MMR, see ya.
Take care, Terry. Okay, good morning. W3PWW in the net, W3EMD. Good morning to all. Strong signals today, even though it's still quite dark.